its Coordination for Humanities, the University Program of Studies on Asia and Africa, and Massey University and the College of Humanities and Social Sciences welcome all of you to this first International Colloquium of Mexican and New Zealand Studies, Trans-Pacific Encounters between the Past and the Multipolar World, an academic dialogue. Be welcome to the Inauguration Ceremony. First of all, we welcome Mr. Andrew Townend, Deputy Head of Mission, Embassy of New Zealand in Mexico. Please, Andrew Townend, your welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Manya. I hope you can hear me okay. Yes. Well, buenas tardes, good morning, ngani hinui kia koutou. In August last year, my colleague Pablo Ramirez and I had a Zoom call with Alicia Giron and Banya de la Vega of the PUEAA to discuss ways in which we at the embassy might support academic collaboration between Mexico and New Zealand. During that conversation, we talked about the existing relationship that UNAM had with Massey University. And one of the action points to come out of that meeting was a follow-up conversation with Leonel Alvarado and Selina Bartolotto to see what might be possible. I was therefore delighted some weeks back to hear that this colloquium was going ahead. I congratulate all involved for making it a reality and for coming up with such a rich range of topics, from management of natural hazards to literature and language, to women in leadership. For us at the New Zealand Embassy in Mexico City, we see huge potential for Mexico and New Zealand to learn from one another in all kinds of ways. And exchanges like this one are a vital part of that. I'm especially pleased to see this colloquium come to fruition during a year that has been hugely challenging for all of us. In some ways, it reflects the possibilities that COVID has opened up for us. And I hope that it will be the first of many such trans-Pacific encounters in the future, whether in person or virtually. Congratulations again to UNAM, the PUEAA, and Massey for making this happen. No reira tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Thank you very much, Andrew Townend. Afterwards, I give the floor to Ambassador Alfredo Perez, Ambassador of the Embassy of Mexico in New Zealand.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good afternoon in Mexico. Thank you, Vania. I would like to thank the University of Massey, and in particular, my dear friends, Kerry Taylor and Leonel Alvarado from the School of Humanities, Media, and Creative Communication for this invitation. Also, please allow me to greet and thank Dr. Alicia Giron, coordinator of the University Program of Studies on Asia and Africa, and all of her great team at UNAM, my alma mater. Last but not least, I greet my dear friend Andrew Townend, Deputy Head of Mission of the New Zealand Embassy in Mexico. Dear friends, since the establishment of diplomatic relations in 1973, New Zealand and Mexico have built an exemplary bilateral relationship. We agree on virtually every item of the international agenda. We defend the same principles and values, and we collaborate in the most important multilateral forums. I can say without any hesitation that there are no controversial topics at all in our relationship, and that we view each other with considerable warmth. Furthermore, Mexico has become New Zealand's largest trading partner in Latin America. In addition, Mexico and New Zealand have built a very solid legal framework. Moreover, cooperation between academic institutions and student exchange is one of the most dynamic aspects of the bilateral relationship. In terms of technical and scientific cooperation, Mexico maintains a broad interest in making the most of New Zealand's technology advance in the agri-food sector. In terms of in more than 1 year working in New Zealand, it is clear to me that there are several areas where Mexico and New Zealand can and should increase their cooperation. Education is one of those areas. That is why I consider this colloquium to be of great importance, and I look forward to exploring new venues of collaboration with your invaluable support. I hope that the work of this colloquium will contribute to a closer relationship between New Zealand and Mexico. Thank you very much for inviting me to be with you, and congratulations on this fantastic and important initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador. It's very important for us to have both diplomats of both embassies here today with us. Now let's move on to the words of the scholars. First of all, Professor Alicia Giron, coordinator of the University Program of Studies on Asia and Africa.
Thank you very much. We are very happy to arrive to this moment after 3 years that we have met Leonardo and Carrie at UNAM. After many conversations by email, we decided last year that we must use the platform to meet with Massey University. For us and for the PUEAA especially, coming to these platforms have given us, I think, the most academic interchange that we have never thought before. We cross the Atlantic and we cross the Pacific most of the times. In the morning, maybe we are in the Pacific, we are crossing the Pacific, and at night we are crossing the Atlantic. So it depends in the hour, and that's why we have improved a lot the interchange with Massey University. We are really very happy, and this colloquium is our first colloquium of Mexico and New Zealand studies, and it is called the Trans-Pacific Encounters Between the Past and the Multipolar World, an Academic Dialogue. It has different, as you have seen in the program, we have many things in common as literature and the volcanoes. We never thought that the volcanoes was going to be an issue that connect us, and we are having in the first panel Hugo Delgado, which is the Institute of Geography, and he is director of the Institute of Geography, and also a Mark Bevington of University of Massey. But behind that, we have also the COVID's impact on migration. We have a lot in common in that issue, also in extractive industry, and also one of the things that in music, it is incredible how we can share our music of both countries. And the other panel that it was named Poetic Geographies, where it is participating Leonel Alvarado and also Alberto Vital. We are going to learn a lot about how the Kiwi poet in Mexico and Central America has arrived, and also how the migration in Mexican literature of Juan Rulfo has gone also to New Zealand. We also have David Garcia, who is the director of the Philological Research Institute, and there is Celina Bortolotto, who is one of the organizers with Leonardo this conference. And of course, there's one panel about women in leadership. This is going to be very, very interesting. There is Fernanda Vidal, who has been deputy in the United Nations High-Level Panel for Women Economic Empowerment. And then, and also will be Farah Palmer, who from Massey University. And at last is the indigenous culture, which is amazing how the Maoris are in the culture of New Zealand and also our own Nahuatl language cultures. Well, thank you very much, Vania, and thank you to be here in this platform. Welcome to UNAM, and we hope one day to be in New Zealand in the University of Massey, or Massey University will come back to UNAM. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Hiron. Please, Professor Perry Taylor, Head of School of Humanities, Media, and Creative Communication from Massey University.
Kia ora e na mana, kia ora e na rio, kia ora e na iwi, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. So that's welcome to you all, welcome to the VIPs, welcome to the speakers, and welcome to the people who are here attending this. It's a great pleasure to be here. It's safe to say that this has been a long process to get to this point. A number of us from the college and the school have engaged with Mexico over the last few years, and it's safe to say that many of us have fallen in love with Mexico. Lionel can attest to this because the most exciting thing that's happened to me over the last few months was to buy a tortilla press and endlessly make corn tortillas to share with my family. Their enthusiasm is slipping a little bit quicker than mine. So I look forward to sharing my own tortilla with our friends from Mexico when they come to visit us at Massey in Palmerston North. We've always felt welcome at UNAM, and I think that's a sign of the general relationship between Mexico and New Zealand. The people seem to get on with each other. We understand each other somehow. There's an instinctive connection. We share an experience of earthquakes and volcanoes. We love football, although different types of football. We seem to like drinking beer, although different kinds of beer as well, although we do see Mexican beer in New Zealand these days. We share the Pacific as a trading route, as a place that gives us life, as a place that fuels the imagination. It's a place that we think of as a rich source of energy. And it's a bridge between Mexico and New Zealand. And I emphasize the fact that it's a bridge rather than a barrier, because sometimes that distance can be created as something that's a problem rather than an opportunity. And I think this event and the exchange that we've had with UNAM over a period of time and with other Mexican universities is a sign that actually, if we imagine this as an opportunity, as something that connects us rather than as a barrier, then I think there's a long way down the building of very fruitful relationships. So I really want to thank the team who've brought this together. I know there's an awful lot of hard work that's gone on to make this happen. Your work is very greatly appreciated, and I'm really, really pleased to see this as what we hope will be the first colloquium on Mexican-New Zealand studies. Muchas gracias. Harira.
Thank you, Professor Taylor. Please, Professor Francisco Trigo, Vice Provost for International Affairs, International Head Office, UNAM. Your welcoming remarks.
Thank you very much, Vania. It's a pleasure to talk to all of you. Mr. Andrew Townend from the Embassy of New Zealand in Mexico, Mr. Alfredo Perez, Ambassador of Mexico in New Zealand, Alicia Giron, Director of PUEAA here at UNAM, Mr. Perry Taylor, Head School of Humanities, and Guadalupe Valencia, Vice President for Humanities here at UNAM. It's with great pleasure that I speak to you, since I'm very pleased to see that this first international colloquium of Mexican and New Zealander studies is already in place and will cover different areas of knowledge. So I'm very happy. UNAM international process is extended throughout the world. We have 14 international offices representing UNAM interest in all over the world. We allocate 10 international universities at UNAM, more than 1,000 agreements with different universities and international institutes throughout the world. And since I am from the area of agriculture, particularly veterinary medicine, I'm very familiar with the tradition and the excellence of Massey University in the area of agriculture and veterinary medicines throughout the years. Our school here at UNAM, as well as Massey University, are accredited internationally by the highest standards internationally. So that's an area of opportunity. Let me tell you that some faculty members of our School of Veterinary Medicine at UNAM have been trained at Massey. So that's also an area of opportunity to explore further collaboration in the future. But I'm extremely happy to see that a lot of areas of knowledge have been covered from the description that Alicia Giron gave us. So I'm seeing this as a first opportunity to strengthen our collaboration in the near future and cover different areas of knowledge. So I wish a very successful meeting with a lot of further developments in the near future. So thank you very much for your attention. And I just talked to Dr. Ken Oyama. He's engaged with another meeting, Guadalupe. So just to let you know that you will be the last speaker from UNAM. Thank you very much to all of you for your attention. Bye.
Thank you, Professor Trigo. And finally, we welcome Professor Guadalupe Valencia, coordinator of the Coordination for Humanities at UNAM. Please, your welcoming remarks and also the opening statement.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated, Andrew Townend, Deputy Head of Mission of the Embassy of New Zealand in Mexico, Alfredo Perez, Ambassador of Mexico in New Zealand, Kerry Taylor from the Massey University, Francisco Trigo from National Autonomous University of Mexico, Alicia Giron, Coordinator from University Program of Studies on Asia and Africa. It's a very pleasure to be here at the opening of the first colloquium that will surely set the course for a long dialogue shared between academics of New Zealand and Mexico. This colloquium contributes to achieve a multidisciplinary vision in which the arts, science, cultural and literary studies, social and gender studies will be discussed based on various topics, all of them of enormous importance, such as extractive industries, volcanic eruptions, and their impacts on societies, comparative literature, women's leadership, the impact of migration from the COVID-19 pandemic, indigenous cultures and languages, among others. Congratulations to Alicia Giron and her team of collaborators for this colloquium. I am sure it will be the beginning of a long and beneficial relationship between our colleagues from New Zealand, Mexico, and other regions of the world. It's an honor for me to declare open this colloquium. Es un honor para mí declarar abierto, inaugurado este coloquio. Muy buenas tardes, México, a todas y todos. Buenos días en Nueva Zelanda. Un gran gusto estar aquí. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Professor Valencia. This is the end of the opening ceremony. I invite you to stay with us. In a few minutes, we will be broadcasting the keynote conference by Professor Cynthia White from College of Humanities and Social Sciences, Agency, Identity, and Emotion, Inside the Life Worlds of Language Learners and Teachers. Thank you all.